Hey everybody, Curseius here. Now, I've been playing a lot of games lately. Sorry about the lack of uploads. Just been busy. So I found this little game on mobile. This is on Android, iOS, iPad. It's not available on Facebook, unfortunately. So I'm playing it on my my Android emulator. Now it's called DomiNations. This game is actually really fun, and actually I enjoy it a lot more than other Clash clones. The reason is that this one is actually more focused on troop combat than it is just tower combat. And what I mean by that is that some of your defensive buildings, like the Garrison and the stable here, spawn defenders to go and attack your enemy with. And you have, and the main concept of this game is that you're building up your civilization from each age to the future age. And that's actually really cool. Right now, I'm in the classical age, which the reason I started this video in this defense tricks and tips video series in the classical age is because the classical age is where I believe that your defense options become the most viable. The reason I say this is because in the classical age, you get the ballista tower. And unfortunately, see, the ballista tower one-shots cavalry. And unfortunately, you don't get the ballista tower until the classical age. And every other age before the classical age, you get run over by cavalry. No matter how good your defending troops are, no matter how upgraded your towers are, you just get run over by cavalry. Unfortunately, cavalry, in my opinion, are a little unbalanced in that fact that early on they can just run everything over. But the ballista tower one-shots them, meaning that your enemy has to be a little bit more smart and a little bit more calculating about where they place their cavalry so that they can actually have some use rather than just getting destroyed by the ballista tower. Now, the thing about this game, as you go through the ages, you also get to build wonders. I built the Acropolis, which speeds up the spawn time of my garrisons by 20%. Garrison and stable by 20%. It unfortunately does not affect the Colosseum, which the Colosseum is another garrison-like building that spawns 8 defenders every 32 seconds. It spawns its first 8 defenders on the first 4 seconds, which actually every garrison spawns its first defenders within the first 8 seconds or so of the battle. Now, the towers and stuff actually aren't that important, except for the Catapult. The Catapult's like one of your most important buildings because it can take down archers and regular soldiers really fast and efficiently. It actually fires pretty good, pretty good rate. So you kind of want to protect it, or you kind of want to use it as a target of greed for your opponent, which I am using as a target of greed for my opponent because I'm making it look like it's not defended. There's no wall piece or a gate right here. And that's why the gates exist, by the way, so that your defending troops can walk through and go to your opponent's troops and try to kill them. Now, there is a rock, paper, scissors hierarchy to the troops. Your normal soldiers are good against cavalry, but weak against archers. Archers are weak against cavalry, but strong against soldiers. And your cavalry is strong against archers, but weak against regular soldiers. Which I understand that hierarchy, but also it doesn't make sense as cavalry were used in the medieval in the times. Cavalry were used to kill regular soldiers that were not spear holding soldiers. Your regular sworded soldiers were kind of cut down by cavalry. Anyway, and after you get to the age before classical, I think you get to choose a culture to adopt. I chose to adopt the Japanese culture because it gives the town center the ability to fight back using arrows, like regular towers, which is pretty cool. Every other culture has its own thing. Unfortunately, I can't list it all here because there's no list. So you just have to check that out when you get there. I really suggest you check out this game, by the way. So when you get a culture and you adopt it, you actually get a special unit. Now the unit can be either regular infantry, an archer, or cavalry. Now the special unit for the Japanese is the samurai, the regular infantry. A lot of them actually are just regular infantry. But the infantry for the samurai, for the Japanese samurai, they have higher attack than every other special infantry. And just to show you what I mean, like someone donated me through my guild, or nation, it's nations. They donated me Heavy Legion. Heavy Legion have higher hit points than everything else. But as you can see, though, their damage per second is kind of lower compared to the Samurai, which is about 60 DPS lower. So there's that. Now, as far as like my defense goes, I'm going to show you guys what I did here. I placed a garrison on all 4 corners, and my cavalry stable on one of the corners. And when the enemy attacks, now the Colosseum has a pretty much a global range, so it's going to spawn its 8 defenders almost right away. And then, now I made it look like my catapult here is a target of opportunity, that it's undefended. And I placed a tower down here to make my enemy start his cavalry there. And so when his cavalry come up, they're going to hit the spike trap, hit the ambush trap, and start getting destroyed by ballista tower. Or they can just spawn a whole bunch of regular soldiers here, use their, you get a one-time, not one-time, but a focus ability that's on a cooldown timer, and you can make your troops focus any one target you want, or make them go to one spot. But anyways, they could probably spawn like a whole bunch of little guys down here and make them come up here and go for the catapult. But they're going to, meet a whole bunch of defenders. The ambush trap, which spawns another 2 phalanxes, which phalanxes are just regular infantry. And they'll start getting cut down by the ballista tower. Now I upgraded the walls around the ballista tower, so that way it's harder for the enemy cavalry to get to it. The only way that they would be able to destroy this is with a lot of archers. But anyways, so I mean that's pretty much it. You also place down roads to make money. They may make money over time. It's pretty cool. A nice little mechanic about making actual income. You also get other defensive options like traps, spike traps, which deal a lot of damage. Caltrops, which actually are really effective. They slow down the invading enemies that walk over them by slows them down by 30% and reduces their damage by 25%, which is actually really good. So, as far as it goes, that's it. I mean, it's actually an uncommon Clash clone, and I prefer these kinds of Clash clones. The ones that are very uncommon, not like Clash of Clans all the way through. And I really enjoy this one, so I really suggest you check it out. Make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Future videos will be shorter, but this one was just kind of an introduction to the game, because like I said, I started this game off in the classical age because really every other age before that you get run over by cavalry. It's not fair. Cavalry are unbalanced until you get the equalizer, which is your ballista tower. Once you have the ballista tower, everything's cool. But anyways, like I said, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.